We are starting to see bullish divergences in this market with the Bitso liquidity index surpassing 10 million, and the floodgates have opened for the Philippine market. So let's dive in and see what's going on the XRP chart today. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. And today, I want to take a look at the XRP chart because I started noticing positive signs in other digital assets in the cryptocurrency space. So I figured, let's take a look at this chart and see what are we going to do here. The first thing I noticed, I saw that a couple of other digital assets were starting to take off. Now, these are lower capped assets, but if you've been around for a bull run before, a lot of times not everything will take off together. A few coins will start really taking off, and that will kind of start some FOMO. People will drop the assets that they have to chase after these ones, and then the ones that they used to have will take off, and it just starts becoming this bouncing game between all the assets of FOMO induced surging. And I'm not saying that we're there yet, but I am starting to notice signs. And I haven't, I started releasing those videos to like show like moving averages and how to get into, navigate trading view and read candles. And look, I know that a lot of that stuff is super basic. So if you guys know how to do at least the basics of charting, that might not interest you. But I figured, we have to start if I'm creating a playlist, it's got to start super basic before we really start bringing it all in. And I know a lot of people are wanting the Fibonacci's, and that's the next video that will be released tomorrow. So Fibonacci retracements are coming tomorrow, but let's dive into this right now. And with XRP, so I haven't talked about this stuff yet, but we start looking at things like the relative strength index. And we're starting to potentially see a bullish divergence on the relative strength index, which means that the price can remain flat or trend downward while the relative strength is upward, which means that we are oversold and the selling is getting weaker and weaker, which can sometimes lead to a move in the opposite direction or a reversal. Now, let's take a look at, I usually don't go into other digital assets, and I'm not sitting here promoting them. This is just a list of kind of like stuff from the top 50 and top 100, just a various list. And I do not own all of these coins at all, but they give us a good idea of what's going on. So like this one right here is total. This is going to be the entire total market cap. Total 2 is going to be your total altcoin market cap. But let's take a look at what was like the big performer yesterday, right? So the big performer yesterday was Stratis platform, and you can see that it had a breakout right here. Okay, now this may not seem like a big deal, but let's take a look back at how long this has been going on for. This has been since this trend right here has been since June, just downward trending, and right here. And then we notice this. Look at this big bullish divergence that is built for a long time in here. And then we have a breakout. I can't predict for you how high that will go or if there's any future for Stratis platform, but it's our first sign of potential price movement and price reversals within the market. Let's look at other things, like let's look at like Siacoin, right? So before I created this video, I put together like this potential pitchfork, and we've got bounces between it, but let's ditch that, right? Look at what we've got here. We've got a bullish divergence here and here, and yet we have price movement down. Okay, so we are starting to see different signs that the market might not only be oversold, but the selling strength is getting much weaker. And that's what the relative strength index tells us. What about like Ethereum Classic? Well, we look down here at the bottom and we see that we could potentially be double bottoming. We also do have a divergence right here between this point and this point where we were oversold, yet the selling pressure was weaker. However, price went lower. And this is what we call a bullish divergence. So we're starting to see these different signs throughout the throughout the market. So what does that mean for XRP, right? Well, it doesn't give us an exact clue to what's going to happen to XRP in its next short-term move. XRP still could certainly go down to that 15.5 cent level, or it could break out to the upside. We don't really know. But one thing we do know is that if you go back to my past videos, or it's like about rewriting history, is that sometimes other coins do break out first. And this market of participants that are in right now doesn't have a lot of experience dealing with that. They don't have a lot of experience dealing with the FOMO of what happens when there's a bull run on other coins and not on the coin that they own. So you have to kind of be ready for that you might see signs of the market taking off in other places first, and to not go chasing those that are already green, but holding on strong to what you have. And if you've been waiting for a buy opportunity, that could potentially be it's time to start collecting the ones that haven't taken off yet that you think have potential. Once again, let me repeat this. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not investment advice. So if you lose your money, that's on you. You're a grown up. You can make your own decisions. But I want you just to remember that if we start seeing signs in the market that we're taking off, that you shouldn't view that as being something to FOMO about and something to chase. It should just kind of start getting you excited that, oh wow, things are starting to really turn around, and to not get that negative perception that why isn't my investment taking off yet? Your time will come. You just have to wait for it. So let's dive a little bit deeper into XRP just on the short-term time frame and see what we have here. So there is our bullish divergence going on here. And let's see, are we looking there? Yep, you can clearly see it here. We have a higher high here, a lower high here, with clearly higher highs on the strength. The thing that we've been watching for a while is whether or not this is going to break down to this region right here, and if this is the Fibonacci setup for right here. We don't know yet. We're going to find out soon, hopefully. Just any type of volatility would be fantastic because we've had no volatility whatsoever since late November, November 24th. So we're going on almost 20 days of arranging. And eventually, it's got to break out of here when we look at it like this. So how many bounces do we have in here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Potentially could get one more, or we view it like this. We've got an A, B, C, D, E here. And now it's time to go. So no matter what, this thing's going to do something soon in the next couple of days, whether that's go up or go down. We're going to make a trend soon. So when we head over to the Bitcoin chart and look here, we can see that we really kind of have the same thing going on right here, right? Since like November 24th, November 25th, same type of little movements. And it looks like right now XRP is following Bitcoin. Hate that or love that, it does appear that's what the chart is doing, and the price is following. So like we've talked about before, we're kind of waiting to see if this 70.2% retrace is where we're heading. Now, a lot of times this could have been good enough. This spot right here could have been close enough. Just don't know yet. If I had to make my guess, I would say yes, it still is going to come down to right here, which would be hopefully that we get some type of relative strength that will come down and not go as deep as it did last time. And then we start seeing something like that. That would give us our bullish divergence on price, and it would also be at a price level that we would perceive to be potentially the bottom. Let's get that off of here. Now that would of course bring us into this area right here, which is where we've had all the support in the past before we broke down in the 2018 bear market. I haven't shown this very much, but let's do like a volume profile on the visible range, and let's modify that to a, let's see, like 200 of those bars. And what do we get? So we can see that there is a very strong volume profile that happens to also line up right at that 70.2% Fibonacci zone. So I do expect that we would probably come down here, tap this volume profile, this Fibonacci level, and this previous supportive area that we've had in the past. And then, hey, it's go time. Now, if it goes through there, then, well, we have to talk about what it's going to do, in that scenario. But personally, I'm really looking to see that will hold. So That's what we're looking for on Bitcoin. And since XRP seems to be following Bitcoin right now, it's probably going to be just a minute until we get to see what XRP is going to do. Now, I want to give a shout out to this guy, X-Men XRP at XRP33. He messages me news articles all the time. And I know in my intro I say, hey, this is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. And, we don't really get into the news a whole lot in here, but I wanted to give a shout out to this guy because he is always messaging me stuff. He's great. And, one of the things we noticed, let me go back over here to the liquidity bot. We could see that there's been a huge surge in the liquidity for like Moneygram on the Bitso liquidity index for XRP Mexican peso. And, this is this is great. And but I know just because of all the wire transfers that I do, this doesn't even come close to representing what we're really going to be doing in the future. But it is exciting to see that this is exponentially growing. So I remember back here just in October when we're doing like 3 million XRPs per day. And now look at us, we just crossed 10 million the other day. Now, I mean, just do the math on that, right? It tripled in a matter of 2 months. What's it going to be like when it triples from here? Well, that would be 30 million. And then what happens when it triples from there? And that would be 90 to 100 million. And so, if you do the math and you just get to the end of 2020, well, I mean, we're at a billion XRP just moving through Bitso and MoneyGram. So we'll have to see. Will this trend continue in an exponential form? I don't know. We'll see. But it is exciting to see that we are getting some continued increases in liquidity. And that comes over here on this article. XRP ODL corridor to the Philippines surges while XRP Mexican peso still leads. So the Philippines is opened and starting to go. That's great. So that's going to wrap that up for the day. We'll head back over here to the charts and remember that we are just waiting for that little move down right there. It might not ever happen. That might have been good enough right here, but we are still expecting, or at least I am still expecting personally, that we get right down there to about 63.30 or something. So that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. I've posted the videos on moving averages, navigating trading view, and how to read candlesticks. Tomorrow we'll get Fibonacci and retracements, and I bid you all a great day. So thank you for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor, but if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.